30 Central on GSN.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Will the next card be high or low on Card Shark? And here's the host of Card Shark, Jim Perry.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. Nice to have you here with us. And thank you for joining us on Card Sharks. And we'd like to thank also Vicki McMahon. You're very kind. Vicki McMahon of Excello, Missouri for that opening poem. Thank you, Vicki. Now let's open the board and get to the cards. Janice and Bettine, if you will, start loading in the cards. We have a game in progress with these Card Sharks. Sidel Wiener, our champion. Hello, Sidel. Nice to see you again. Won't you again remind us about yourself?
My name is Sidel Wiener. I'm from West Covina, California, originally from New York. I teach part-time at Cerritos College in Cal Poly Pomona, and I'm the mother of a beautiful 4.5-month-old baby boy.
And you're a good player here. Sidel has won $8,700 in cash, right? Nice to see you again, Sidel. Challenger Paul Glasgow. Hi, Paul.
Hello, Jim.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
And again, would you tell us about yourself?
Well, my name is Paul Glasgow. I'm from Altadena, California. I'm a detective for the Los Angeles Police Department. Been with them for 11 years. And my hobbies are swimming and racquetball.
You must have some interesting stories to tell. I suspect we could talk a long time about working as a detective. Do you enjoy it?
Oh, I really do. Good. I'm very fortunate that I have an assignment that I really kind of strive for, and I'm really happy that I'm in it.
Good. Well, we're delighted to have you both back here with us. You've cut the cards in front of our audience.
Right.
And we're all set to go. We're picking up. We're in the middle of game one of a best 2 out of 3 match. And looking at the board, Paul has moved over to needing 1 card for the win. Sidel has yet to turn over the base card in the first game of the best 2 out of 3. And as we left off, it is question 2 going to you, Paul. Paul, we asked 100 married women. Have you ever tried to goad your husband into doing something by asking, "What are you, a man or a mouse?" How many married women said they've used that line?
Yeah, that sounds very familiar to me, and especially with men and their high egos, I'd have to say that number is high. I'd say at least 78.
78 out of 100 married women have said, "What are you, a man or a mouse?" What do you think, Sidel?
Well, I know I've used it once, so I'll have to say...
Did it work?
Yes. I'll have to say that it's even higher than that.
Even higher than that? Surprises me. I'll find out as you do. I never know the answers. I think you're both a little high, but let's find out. The actual number of married women who have asked their husband, "What are you, a man or a mouse?" is 16. It is very much lower. Well, for once I was right. Paul.
All right. I'd like
You
to
get
change.
control. You have an 8.
I'd like to change that 8.
Whenever you win the question, you have the right to change it, and Paul wants it.
All right, beautiful. Lower.
If this is lower, Paul is the first game of the match for the win.
Oh,
Yeah. Owen Ace came up with a great time for Paul. Game 1 going to the challenger with $100. And Janice, if you will set up for game 2 with the same 2 decks of cards. Janice will deal out the next cards off the top of the deck. And now, Sidel, you need this game. Sidel, we asked 100 unmarried senior citizen women. Senior citizen women. Do you kiss on the first date? How many senior citizen women said they do kiss on the first date?
Well, I don't think senior citizen women would be different from most other women today, so I'll say it'd have to be pretty high. I'll say about 60 would kiss on the first
So
date.
you figure that all the other ones too, huh? 60 out of 100. What do you think, Paul?
Well, I think that when women get older, they have a tendency just to want to touch and hold each other and things like that, hold hands. And I'd say that the figure's got to be, it should be a little lower.
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 The actual number of senior citizen women who kiss on the first date is 30. You're right, Paul. It is lower. And the challenger starts this game with a jack.
Right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go lower.
Lower than a jack? Oh, no, an ace. And that gives Sidel a free chance to play a 10.
Okay, lower.
Lower than the 10. It is a 4.
Okay, higher, Jim.
Higher than a 4. A 9.
Okay, I'll freeze on that.
Now we move over the freeze bar. Can't take those cards away. Sidel needs 2 to tie up the match. Paul. Paul, we asked 100 psychiatrists. Generally speaking, do you believe people who claim they remember past lives while under hypnosis? How many psychiatrists said they do believe people can remember past lives?
Well, as a matter of fact, I've seen a program just recently about that. It's becoming very, very wide known. I'd say that not too many, but at least 30.
30. 30 out of 100. What do you think, Sidel?
Well, psychiatrists deal with the mind, so possibly they would tend to believe more. I'll say it's a little higher.
Higher. The actual number of psychiatrists who believe people can remember past lives is 15. It is not
All
higher.
right,
Paul again gets control of the board.
No, Jim,
Paul, you've got a jack.
I made a mistake with that jack. I'm going to change it.
You're going to change the jack. Let's see if he can improve it.
All
Yes, he
right.
can. A
All right,
queen.
lower.
Lower than a queen. A 9.
I'm going to gamble and go lower.
Taking a risk. Is he right? Lower than the 9? No, it's not lower. And the risk did not pay off. Sidel, it's a break for you to play off the 9 and call this.
Okay, I'll go with the odds and say lower.
Lower than a 9. Yes, a 7.
I'll freeze. I have to.
And again, we move over the freeze bar as Janice fills in the spaces. Sidel needs 1 to tie up the match. Sidel, we asked 100 housewives across the country, if you could afford it, would you like to have a live-in maid? How many housewives said even if they could afford it, they would not want a live-in maid?
Well, I wouldn't want one if I could afford it because I like to have my privacy. I'll say it's around 50. I'll go kind of middle of the road.
Right up the middle. She
Like
said
the
50 out of
luxury.
100 would not want a live-in maid, Paul.
No, I'll have to disagree with that. I think that even if you can or cannot afford it, you'd like to have a maid. I'd say it's even lower.
Lower. The actual number of housewives who would not want a live-in maid is 53, not lower. Sidel.
Okay,
Yeah, more with that
change
privacy.
7, please.
She wants to get rid of the 7. A 9.
Okay, well, I'll go lower.
Big call. If this is lower, Sidel ties up the match for the win. Yes! Sidel ties it up. And now, each player with 1 game and $100, and we set up for the tiebreaker. 3 questions up there, 3 cards here. Someone's going to get a crack at the money cards very quickly. Paul, we asked 100 bachelors, do you like it when a woman talks baby talk to you? How many bachelors said they like it when a woman talks baby talk?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a kind of a toughie there. I know I kind of like it when my wife, before we got married, she talked to me sweet like that.
Yeah?
I'd say the number is fairly high. I'd say around 58.
58 bachelors said, yeah, they like it when a woman talks baby talk, Sidel.
Well, I think it'd have to be a little bit lower than that. Men like women to sort of act their age.
Oh, you don't think they like the baby talk, huh? Let's find out. The actual number of bachelors who like it when a woman talks baby talk is 30, very much lower, Sidel. And the champion gets control in the tiebreaker with a 10.
Okay, can I change that,
Yes,
please?
you can. Winning the question, a 5.
Okay, I'll go higher.
Higher than a 5, a 6.
Okay, freeze.
Freeze. Needing 1 card, and Paul is still in it. Sidel, this question goes to you. Sidel, we asked 100 priests, do you own any shares of stock in the stock market? How many priests said yes, they do own stock?
Well, let's see. I don't see why priests shouldn't invest. Inflation hits them as much as it hits anybody else. So I'll say maybe,
The stock market helps?
well, let's say maybe 40.
40 priests said yes, they own stock in the stock market.
I'll definitely have to disagree with that. If you're a priest, you donate all your salary and your services to God and to the church, and I don't think that they would be involved in the stock market. I think they would devote themselves to the church. I'll say lower.
Lower. The actual number of priests who own stock is 1. You're right, Paul. It is very much lower. Well, Paul, you've got a queen.
I'm going to keep that queen and go lower.
Lower than the queen, a 10.
I'm going to keep that 10 and try to win it all and go lower.
For the win, lower than a 10. Yes! Sidel, you're leaving us with $8,800. Thank you for joining us. Sidel Wiener, come on out here, Paul. Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Good job. Nice win. Come on around here so everybody can see you. While you're looking at Paul's smiling face, we're going to take time out for this commercial message. Then Paul goes for the big money.
fun to get started today.
Our champion, Paul Glasgow, $200 for winning the game. That's a pretty good start. Are you ready for the big money?
I'm ready.
Let's get up there for the money cards. Come on, Paul. Now the money cards are shuffled. You cut them in front of our audience again, I assume? And Janice will start dealing them out as we give you $200 of new money in these 3 cards. When you move up to the second level, we'll add another $200 of betting money and give you 3 more cards. Your minimum bets, remember, are $50 till you get to the top card, the big bet. There you must risk at least half the money. Good luck, Paul.
Thank you.
Here's $200. You can change your base card on each of the 3 levels if you need to, and you're starting off with $200 and a 4.
I'm going to keep that 4, Jim. I'm going to bet 100 higher.
$100 that this card is higher than a 4. And it is!
All right. I'm going to bet it all lower.
$300 lower than a king. Yes,
All
with a
right. I'm going to bet 300 higher.
6. Big bet on a 6. $300 higher than a 6. Yes,
All right. Beautiful.
900 as we move up and give you the other 200. You've got 1,100 and an 8.
I'd like to change that card, Jim.
When you move, you can change it. With 1,100 on this level, you'll play a jack.
Okay. I've got 1,100. I'm going to bet 500 lower.
$500, a big bet on the jack. Lower. Yes.
All right.
5 for 1,600.
I'm going to bet another 500 higher.
He's been right so far. I hope he keeps it up. 500. Higher than a 5. Yeah.
All right.
10.
Beautiful. I'm going to bet 500 lower.
$500 lower than a 10. Oh no, king. But with $1,600, we move up the good card, the king.
I'm going to keep that king. I'm going to bet it all lower.
All or nothing. Trying to double, $1,600. Lower than a king. It is. Way to go, Paul.
Beautiful.
Nicely done. You kept that, those $500. And with the 200 in the game, $3,400. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And knowing what the pay is as a detective, I'm sure you can use it.
I certainly can. Oh, we're going on a trip to Hawaii, and that's exactly how much I need.
That's perfect. Good. So Paul's going to Hawaii on us, but not right now. He's going to meet a new challenger right after this. Way to go. Janice starts dealing out 2 brand new decks of cards. We'll meet a new challenger on Card Sharks. Linda Schiffer. Hello, Linda. Nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
My name is Linda Schiffer, and I come from Trumbull, Connecticut, which is in Fairfield County, and I manufacture and design children's clothes.
Oh, that's lovely there in Connecticut.
Yes,
So Fairfield
it is.
County, that's very lovely in Connecticut.
Yes, it is.
Nice to have you here with us. Hope you have a good time.
Oh, I will.
You've
Thank
cut
you.
your cards?
Yes, I have.
Then we are all set to go as we start the best 2 out of 3 with a question to the champion, Paul. Paul, we asked 100 women doctors. Has a new patient ever come to your office not knowing that you're a woman and walked out once he found out? How many women doctors said that's happened to them?
Well, I think with women coming into the field of medicine and whatever, not too many people are really kind of totally accepting it. So I'll say that that does happen, not too many times, but at least 36.
36 women doctors have had a patient say, uh-oh, a woman, and walk out.
Well, I know that I don't think I would be too crazy about a woman doctor myself.
Really?
I think I would trust a man more, but I don't think I would, I don't know if I'd walk out. I'm going to say it's a little higher.
You say higher. You figure more would walk out. Ah. All the militants can just send the mail to Linda. Don't send it to me. You say higher. The actual number of women doctors who had a patient walk out when he discovered she was a woman is 26. It is not higher. Paul. It's a lot more than I thought it would be. Paul, you have it 6.
Jim, I'd like to change that card.
Getting rid of the 6 with a jack.
Okay, let's go lower.
Lower than a jack. A 4.
All right, let's go higher.
Higher than a 4. No. Not higher, and the challenger gets a free chance to play a king.
A king! Oh, lower!
Lower than a king, an 8.
I'll freeze.
Taking a 1-card advantage. Janice fills in the spaces. And Linda, here's your first question.
Okay.
Linda, we asked 100 dog owners. Has your dog ever grabbed your dinner off the table? How many dog owners said yes?
Oh, that must happen an awful lot. I'm not a dog owner, but I know a few, and the dogs always look to jump up a little bit and grab whatever they could. So I would say that it would be 65.
65 dog owners have had the dog steal the food right off the table, Paul.
Well, I'm going to have to go a little higher on that. I've had dogs for quite a while, and I know how they'll do. You got to watch them every minute, especially if you're at the table or something. So I'll say it's
Even higher.
Right.
The actual number of dog owners whose dog has grabbed their dinner off the table is 48. It is not higher, Linda. Almost half, though.
Oh, can I change that, please?
Now she can get rid of the 8, changing it to a king again.
Lower.
Lower than a king. A 4.
Higher.
Higher than a 4. Oh, no, a 2. Ooh, and a 4 failed both of our players. Paul,
Lower,
great
Jim.
for you.
Lower.
He's got a jack. Lower. It is a 4.
Right. Higher.
Higher than a 4? No! That is the third time a 4 has failed the players in this game. And as Janice fills in the spaces and Paul needs 4 cards, Linda needs 3. Hark, I hear music. We'll be right back right after this.
Family Feud is fun for the whole family.
Family Feud, tonight at 6:30, 5:30 Central on GSN.
Hi, thank you. Nice group of people with us, and we're in the middle of game 1. Let's pick up where we left off. Paul, the question goes to you. And Paul, we surveyed 100 women who are at least 6 feet tall. And we asked them, is your man shorter than you? How many tall women said their man is shorter than they are?
Well, I think that's kind of a toughie. I think most women some time ago wanted to have a guy the same size, but these days I don't think it matters. So I'm going to say that, 46.
46 of the women 6 feet or taller had a man who was shorter.
Well, you mean they were tall like me?
Yeah, they were tall like you.
Okay.
That's right, Linda.
Okay. I would say there's not too many women that are 6 feet tall, so that would have to be higher.
Higher.
Right.
Right. You had to reverse it from yourself, Linda.
Right.
The actual number of tall women whose man is shorter than they are is 46, right on the button. Oh, wow. Nicely done.
You know what? I'm going to change my jack. I'm going to change the jack.
Getting rid of the jack. Doesn't like to look at that anymore. Well, you look at a 5.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 5. A jack.
I'm going to go lower.
Lower than a jack. A 2.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 2. A queen.
Lower.
For the first game of the match, lower. It is your card. It was almost like you wanted to change your luck with that jack.
Yeah, that jack has been giving me a bad time.
Well, you sure made the right change that time, and game 1 goes to the champion. Janice will deal out. Same 2 decks of cards. I mention it often, but if you can remember what cards have been played, it is often a help. And tall Linda, the
Yes.
question goes to you as we start
All right.
game 2. Linda, we found 100 teenagers who come from a family with at least 10 children. And we asked them, when you grow up, do you want to have as many children as your mother did? How many teenagers from large families said yes?
Well, I think that people that come from large families really enjoy that. So, I would say that go right down the middle and say 50 would like to.
50
yes.
out of 100 teenagers from large families said, yeah, they'd like to have as many children as their mother did.
Well, I'm going to immediately say that's lower, and I have a really good idea why. I'm from a large family myself. There were 6 kids in our family, and I think most kids from large families would rather not have a big family.
They don't want to go through that again.
No.
The actual number of teenagers from large families who want as many children as their mother is 25. You're right, Paul. It is lower. And the champion has a 10.
I'd like to change that card.
Changing the 10 to
All
a jack.
right. Lower.
Lower than a jack. Oh, no, a king is not lower. And Linda, the challenger, gets an 8. You didn't win the question. You cannot change it, and she knows it.
No, I'm going to say it's going to be higher.
Higher than the 8. It is a jack.
Lower.
Lower than a jack, an 8.
Freeze.
You'll freeze it. We move over the freeze bar. Linda needs 2 cards to tie up the match, and we need to take time out for a message of importance, so don't go away.
There'll be no gas.
Well, we've run out of time, so we'll have to pick up on our next show. Linda, you were talking about the tall women and kidding. How tall are you?
4'11 and a half.
4'11 and a half. That is the perfect height for a Linda Schiffer. I think
you so much.
So Linda and Paul, we'll all be back, and I hope you'll come back and join us on our next Card Sharks. Until then, have yourself a very good day. Bye-bye. Are you ready?
Ready to go.
In 3, 2, 1.
Let's get it on!
Tonight, starting at 5/4 Central on GSN, it's a do-or-die dash for cash on Minute to Win It. Celebrities play every day on the Pyramid. And Steve Harvey turns Family Feud into family fun.
That's the crazy family over there.
Stunts at 5, Stars at 6, and Feud at 6:30, only on GSN.